What's up, guys? I think I have finally found the perfect EDC knife. For me, anyways. And I kind of made it that way. Obviously, I didn't design the knife or anything, but I definitely wish I could. But the knife I'm talking about is the Hogue Deka. You might remember me talking about this with the Bel Air, comparing those two with the Bug Out. I think I really love this knife. So what I did, if you can tell, I did get new scales on it. So the cheap plastic ones, which I have over here, these shitty cheap plastic ones, they're fine. They just make the knife feel a lot cheaper. So I got these nice aluminum scales, which just make the knife feel more high quality. It's got Cerakote. I really like the grippiness. The texturing feels great. I really liked the Hogue Deka when I first got it. If you remember from that video, it had all kinds of problems though. But I like the size. I like the ergonomics of this jimping up here. I really like the blade. I like the steel they use. The Magna Cut's really good. Really, my problem was the scales felt like garbage. The plastic ones were really bad. I just didn't like them that much. And the action was terrible. Because the pivot was messed up. If you remember, it was on backwards. It's on the right way now. I took this whole thing apart. So first thing I did, obviously, I popped out the pivot. I took this whole blade out and I cleaned the washers. I just cleaned it with like a microfiber cloth. I just rubbed them down real good. And then I used a little bit of this stuff on it. Tough Glide. And it worked like a charm. I can tighten it up. I tightened it up pretty good. And it's just drop shutty now. And there's no blade play or nothing. You can't, there's nothing. It's great. I love the action on this thing now. It's fantastic. I did use a little bit of this stuff on the pivot because I still couldn't tighten it down all the way without the blade like not moving at all. So I used a little bit of this stuff on it, just a little bit, so that way it doesn't mess up the blade or anything. But it's perfect. I've tuned it in so nice. So everything is just, the action's amazing. These handles, they're from Applied Weapons Tech. Here's a sticker they gave me. I haven't put it on anything yet. So if you want to check them out, they're cool. And the scales are just so nice. They feel really good. The texturing is good. The Cerakote finish on it's really good. And now the knife, it went from like a 7 because of the cheap plastic scales. Because of the pivot, maybe it was like a 5 because the pivot was all kinds of messed up. But I fixed the pivot, I replaced the scales, and now this knife's like a 10 out of 10 for me. Like, it's perfect. It feels so good in the hand. It's still pretty lightweight. The scales don't really add too much weight to it at all. And it just feels so much better. Like, it is night and day difference how good this knife feels now. So I did use this little tool. I'll have a link to it on Amazon if you want to check it out. But it's a really good pivot tool to pop the pivot out and kind of, move the washers around, manipulate the washers. And yeah, this tool made it a breeze to get everything changed out. And then all these screws, they're all T8s. So it was nice and easy. But yeah, I mean, these scales brought this knife up so much, and just fixing the pivot, which really didn't take that much work at all. You just put a little bit of, where did this stuff go? Yeah, a little bit of this on there. A little bit of this to lock that pivot in place. And it's just so much better now. God, it's just, I can't believe how good the action is now. It's just incredible. So yeah, I'm in love with this knife now that I swapped out the scales for it. So if you haven't swapped the scales on a knife before, um, it seems like kind of a daunting process, but it really wasn't that bad. As far as this one, I mean, it just made the knife so good. And because I put some work into it, it feels more like my knife now. And I really like it a lot. And I feel like I've bonded with this knife more because I went through the process of taking out the blade, cleaning the washers, replacing the scales, all of that stuff. And now it just feels like it's mine. Like I did something to make it mine. And it's just a really good knife. I love this knife so much. I liked it before, even with the plastic scales and the pivot issues I was having. It was fine before. Um, couldn't complain about it too much. I mean, obviously the action wasn't as good. The scales felt cheap, but it was still a good knife. Like all the important bits, how it felt in the hand, how the blade itself, all of that was there. I mean, it was perfect for me. And now it's just next level. So if you haven't gotten a chance to swap scales on one of your knives, I recommend it to at least try it out and see what you think. Because who knows? I mean, you might be able to take, a 6 out of 10 or whatever and turn it into a 10 out of 10 just by doing some basic work on it. So the short little video, I just wanted to give you an update on what I'm carrying lately and why I'm loving this knife so much. So thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to see a new video every Sunday. I make a new one. Like and comment. Tell me what you think about, modding knives. Have you done it? Why haven't you? And I'll see you in the next one.